Tyvis Powell joining us, everybody.
Hi, Tyvis.
What's going on, gentlemen? I had a question for you two. Usually you ask me the questions, but I have a question for you.
Oh, boy.
Which one, me or Jeff, or both?
Both. Of you. I mean, both of you can answer it.
Okay.
Has there been one positive call today about the Browns or Kevin Stefanski?
No, there have not.
Okay.
Should there be?
There's the better question.
You ask a question, you're going to get one right back.
This is the thing.
Titus, that's a great answer, Titus. Thanks for letting me call your show.
You want me to be do you want the optimistic?
Yes, let's see
correct
sunshine and rainbows.
The optimistic and politically correct times would tell you.
No, I want the realistic one.
No, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you both. The optimistic guy would tell you got through the worst part of your schedule. Now you look on that schedule. There's some winnable games. You might be able to win some games. That's the optimistic guy. When you looked at it, everybody said, "Man, the Browns might go 0-6 to start the season." Well, you got through that part. Now you got the Miamis and the Patriots and all these. You play Cincinnati again.
Patriots look good.
All of that. So you got some games where you actually got a chance to win those games. So that's the optimistic Tyvis. Now, if you want the other Tyvis, the unfiltered Tyvis, then it's more
Tyvis after dark.
This whole thing has just been it's sad because going into the season, a lot of people knew that this season wouldn't be good. But nobody anticipated it being this bad, Even me. If anybody should be mad, it should be me because I'm the only one that predicted 8-9. So if anybody should be upset, it's me. But when you watch it, when you watch this team play, there's no excitement. The only exciting thing about this team is the defense. And once a team scores 20-plus points, or even if they go up 14, it's kind of that's it. That's the end of the game, because the offense hasn't done anything to excite us. And, people wonder how we got to this point. And it's you could go back to the Deshaun thing. You could do that. But I think it's just the thing is this. The reason why at this point I see why everybody wants everybody to just clean house and just fire everybody, because everybody played a part into what we're seeing on the field, and nobody ever really paid a price for the miss of Deshaun Watson. Usually in other franchises, if you make a gamble like that and it doesn't work out, somebody usually gets fired, whether that's coach or GM. Nothing ever happened to anybody, as far as coaching and GMs go. Everybody's pretty much still here. And I think we to the point now where it's you've missed so much. you swung and you missed so big, somebody might have to pay the price eventually.
Tyvis, the one thing I keep thinking about, we touched on this yesterday in the postgame show. I keep thinking this. You don't throw the ball well. You're second worst in completion percentage, and you're second lowest in touchdown passes. Atlanta's below you, but they play tonight, so you'll end up 31st probably if Atlanta throws a touchdown. You've thrown more passes than any team in the NFL. And yesterday, Dillon Gabriel threw 52 passes in his second NFL start, and most of anybody threw yesterday. And you ran it only 17 times. Did they really sit in the coaches' meeting and think this is the best way for this team to win? By throwing the ball so much when you don't do it well?
I think what they thought is they thought Pittsburgh was going to come in there and stack the box. And it's crazy because I was just looking at a play. I forget somebody on Twitter, maybe Jake Burns or somebody on Twitter had put out a play. And what happened was, this is a shame, it was 8 people in the box. So, 8-man box is impossible to run the ball against an 8-man box. And so now they had 8 people in the box. They had one receiver to the outside, the other receiver opposite side. And then they had, I think it looked like it was a safety that was deep. So they was in man-to-man. And they ran play action. Now, Dillon Gabriel or the running back, when somebody ran the wrong way, that there wasn't no play action on it. And they ran crossing routes. And they ended up getting a sack on the play. And I just sat there and I laughed because from a coaching standpoint, I get, all right, they're going to stack the box. We have to throw the ball. So if you throw the ball, like you can't even throw the ball because the dude is getting sacked so much. Like it's a mess, man. And like I say, ultimately, you could change the coach and all that, but like we don't. The bottom line is our tackles and our offensive line is not good. Our receivers is not good. They went to this offseason knowing those things would be the risk. They did nothing to address neither one of those positions. This is the result that we get. Like, that's just the truth of the matter. Like, you knew you had no offensive linemen. You knew that they were all getting old. You draft no offensive linemen. You knew you had no wide receivers. Judy was looking good under Jameis, so okay, I give you that. But the rest of them was all question marks. You didn't draft no wide receivers. So it's like you don't even have playmakers. I feel bad for Dillon Gabriel because you're not even really going to get a good look at Dillon Gabriel because he has nobody to get the ball to. And people screaming Shador, I agree with the same. Like, if you put Shador out there, I want to see him, but like he might get killed. It's not safe to play quarterback for us right now because we can't block it up to save our life. So the whole thing is you might as well just sit there and run the ball because that's your best bet. And the fact that we don't is just, I don't care if they put 11 people in the box, you still should run the ball because that's the only thing we got going because our receivers can't catch.
If you're in that locker room right now with all the drama and turmoil, I mean, are guys pointing fingers, or are they? I know it's easy for us to say, just go to work. You're getting paid to play football and get better. But I mean, the reality of it is there are some quality football players in that locker room who have to be steamed at either fellow players or the coaching staff. There's just no way it doesn't exist when you're in this scenario. And the only thing that heals those kind of wounds is winning.
Yeah, no, I'm sure everybody over there is frustrated because as a player, your aspirations is Super Bowl, playoffs, Super Bowl, especially when you come to the Cleveland Browns. You know how important it is, and you know how much it means to this city to be even in the playoffs, so a part of you, if you buy into that, a part of you feel like you letting the city down, and it's like, man, like everybody laugh about the 1 in 31, but like we headed there. Like we had, people remember them years, around the league, people would joke about stuff like that. But like, if you actually in that Browns uniform right now, you like headed there. And it's like, wow, like it's crazy to be living that out. And it's like the game plan on offense is just so basic, but I understand why it's so basic because you can't do it. The thing is, don't get me wrong. I understand the frustration with Kevin. I do, 100%. The play calling has been atrocious, but I also can't ignore the fact that what is he supposed to call? What is he? Who is he going? What can he draw up? That's going to help.
There's not one guy that can get 15 yards downfield?
Give me a guy.
Fannin did his best yesterday to do it. I mean, I understand when you're looking at a tight end, you're probably looking at a 5 to 10 yard pass.
We threw the ball 52 times. 4 of those was more than 10 yards of a completion. We completed the ball 4 times over 10 yards. That's ridiculous. Out of 52 passes, you only completed 4 of them for 10 plus yards. That's come on now. Like, I don't know what you want them to do. I really don't. But like I said, I agree. I understand why everybody wants him fired. I'm not saying I disagree with that, but I also cannot be naive to the fact that y'all want him to run these deep routes. We don't have time. Our tackles, the tackles might as well slap the dude on the butt on the way past him, and maybe that might pull him up a little bit. That gives us Dillon Gabriel time to throw the ball.
I'd love to sit here and come up with something really great to ask you. I'm so befuddled by what happened yesterday.
There's nothing you can say.
Well, there isn't. And I wonder if the season is being based on results in the win column, or if it's being based on maybe seeing what you might have or need on the roster. Because Tyvis, you laid it out perfectly. The offensive line was exposed. And you had some old guys. You didn't draft anybody. And the wide receiving crew, we've been, about for years, and they didn't do anything. And Isaiah Bond is good. That's great. But that's not, that adding Isaiah to this isn't the answer, at least not yet. And I'm just perplexed that they went into the season with this team and expecting anything other than what they have right now.
The only way I could look at it is if they was already genuinely punting on this season because they knew they couldn't do anything about it anyways. So you get the defense up because, there's been times where defense has been just so good that allowed them to win games, And if you hit on Quinshon, you'd be able to run the ball effectively, maybe you win games like that. It wouldn't be a sexy game. You'd be winning the 7-0 or the 7-3 type games, but maybe that was the recipe for the season, And I go back to this clip that I was just recently exposed to was when Shedeur Sanders was playing in the Carolina game, right? And he's talking to Kenny Pickett on the bench, and he's like, "Man, I want to throw the ball deep." And Kenny said, "You got to ask Kevin about that. You can't do that. You got to ask Kevin." The funny part is, I understand why Kevin was not letting them try to throw the ball because they don't have time. So, to me, when you hear stuff like that, he knew before going into the season what it was. He knew he was going to have to get the ball out quick. He knew they wasn't going to be able to block this thing up. That's why he was preparing them already for the season that y'all got to get the ball out quick. That's probably why he had to beef with Shedeur so much. All this time we've been talking about how he been holding Shedeur back. I think the reason why he holds Shedeur back is because he knows Shedeur holds the ball, and he's like, dude, if you get in there and hold that ball, you go die. You got to get that ball. So really, he might have been protecting them. Even saying he been protecting them this entire time, that might be what it is.
On that note,
excellent analysis.
Enjoy the rest of your Monday.
Y'all as well. Always remember, go Bucks, go Browns. Don't worry, Cleveland. Cavs start soon.
Tyvis Powell joining us on the Fan Hotline.